From the depths of rot and decay they rise. The death god marches under sickened skies. With boils and blight, they spread the pain. In Nurgle's name, disease will reign. Rot and ruin and pestilence flows. With every breath the plague wind blows. Embrace the rot, let flesh decay. The death god comes, none can stay. From the depths of rot and decay they rise. The death god marches under sickened skies. With boils and blight, they spread the pain. In Nurgle's name, disease will reign. Rot and ruin, pestilence flows. With every breath the plague wind blows. Embrace the rot, let flesh decay. The death god comes, none can stay. Armored and filled with rusted blades, they laugh as cities wilt and fade. Where they tread, no life remains. Just hollow corpses, plague remains. Beneath the helm, the cursed grin, for in death they shall begin. Rot and ruin, pestilence flows. With every breath the plague wind blows. Embrace the rot, let flesh decay. The death god comes, none can stay. And leave the warp, the souls are bound. To spread decay, to break the ground. Nurgle's gifts a putrid stain. A future where only disease remains. Rot and ruin, pestilence flows. With every breath the plague wind blows. Embrace the rot, let flesh decay. The death god comes, none can stay. The rot spreads, there's no escape. The death god seals your fate.
And we are live. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Disgustingly Resilient podcast. And quite the topic to cover here today, Will. But before we get into it all, how are you doing, bud?
Yeah, not bad, mate. We were just talking before we sort of joined the call there, went live for everyone else. Hello, chat, and all those people watching at home. Yeah, I mean, we're just talking, it's a bit of a shock with the Death Guard win, mate. We kind of thought we were in quite a good place. Obviously a lot of the armies around to come down, and we were expecting the win rate to maybe be the other side of 50%. So, yeah, it's a bit of a shock, really. I mean, it's a bit of an odd one. But I mean, how are you, Aidan? Before we sort of launch into the chat, I mean, obviously, hopefully you're not too disheartened by the win rate.
No, honestly, I'm not too bad, mate. I'm currently plugging away on me another 6 Death Shroud that I'm painting up for a fly blown for ITT in February to go with VT. So looking forward to that. But part of that, it was obviously a little bit of a shock. I didn't expect it to be this low. But we're going to talk about why we think it is, and obviously, just before we get into this, caveat is this is what 1-2 weeks data tops. So there's still, we'll go through all the numbers. So the website I've got on the screen here, we'll go through all that in a second. But this isn't a doom and gloom stream. This is more of me and Will, and Dave's hopefully joining shortly. He's just having to do parental duties. But it's more just for we're just going to discuss why we think this could be initially happening, and how maybe we can adapt to sort of fix up there. So don't see this as us making a clickbaity doom and gloom 55%. It's probably not as bad as that. It'll probably even out. But again, we've got to address it because it is, that's quite a low number, isn't it, Will?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, well, as we get in the video, we'll talk about it. But things like, is the Death Shroud build still the best build? Because the more I play it, the more I'm sort of like seeing the cracks, and I think the more people play against it, the more people are probably seeing how to beat it. But we'll unpack that as we get into it. But I mean, outside of what we've talked about here, have you had anything else going on in the world? Any practice games, anything?
I've had another practice game with Flyblown. I've got another one coming up this week. I'm just really smashing out Flyblown at the moment. I'm like, again, I've got to make that one happen. Dave's just arrived, so I'll give him a quick
Yeah, I just saw that.
How do I? He should just be able to. Can you just join the call? I think you should just be able to press a button and it'll put him in the call. If not, I'll recall. But yeah, I'm actually having. It's really growing on me. I'm having a good time with it. It's just sort of like very different. It's good to sort of like learn a different way to play. But part of that, not too much. Like I said, I'm just trying to get stuff painted for the list more than anything at the moment.
Nice. No, it's good. I mean, I think I shared it in our chat. I wrote a Flyboard this year. I hadn't really been that bothered by it, to be honest. I think the rules are cool. Like I say, I've never been on the people who thought it was amazing and the people who thought it was trash. I've always been kind of in the middle. Like, Dave, how you getting on, mate?
Nice, how's it going?
Yeah, not bad. We just talked about Flyborn Host. I was just saying I wrote a list yesterday, and I've never been sort of thought it was amazing, but thought it was trash. But Ian was saying he's been practicing a lot for the upcoming ITT event we're playing with Vanguard, and I was just saying I think that, I mean, for me, I think I'm seeing it with different people. I think Brigands go really well in it, and you kind of put like more kind of how the like, you remember the Jim Vessel list where it was like a wall of stuff, and then he had like 1,000 Sun shooting castle. I think you can play Flyborn similar. I think you basically make a wall of Poxwalkers and then stand with your 3 Brigands. And fair play, people can shoot them, but no one can just cheaply take them out in combat and just punch to them in buns. So I think there's like a list build there, and then obviously some Death Shrouds too. But how have you been, Dave? Anyway, how have you? Because obviously your LVO stress is still continuing, isn't it?
It's just stress. It's just continuing. Like Don and I have talked a little bit on Discord as well, but it's more come from the VT guys have done. They did last weekend at the new studio. They did a practice day where they played both maps, had them set up with different armies, and everyone is just like, "Oh my god, this thing is a nightmare." They're like, if you're trying to move monsters out or vehicles, you have to conga line them on most of the maps to get like shooting protection. If there's the bases are. Some of the bases are so big on the terrain that if you're standing off of it, then you're fine, obviously. But then the moment you move into it, like one of the comments I saw was James said that George could only hide 2 Sangard on the base and not open line of sight right the way through it. So that was kind of quite sobering. And I've measured it out with Death Shroud. It's like if you put a Death Shroud break behind one of the big, on the Orc terrain, for example, behind the big L in the middle, they don't actually have enough movement to even clear the terrain base anyway. So you could move them into the wall and then obviously charge through or whatever, but you're giving up a lot of movement to stay off the back of these pieces as well, which for us, being Death Guard, is actually inherently nasty. Yeah. So and then we've done a couple of maps. We've laid out, well, we've drawn out all the firing lanes, even on some of the melee friendly maps, and I'm just more and more leaning into taking tons of shooting, to be honest.
Well,
okay.
Well, great little segue I'll do there. Because we just got a $5 super chat from Chris Bailey, and he's sort of coming to this idea. He said he's went 2 and 3 at GT over the weekend, but still well done getting the 2 wins there, mate.
Well
and also, I think you're the fella that posted in the Facebook group about your result, and I just wanted to commend it because a lot of people only post when they do well at events, but you do actively, and you weren't just posting and like bitching and moaning like some people do. You were actively pointing out some things you did wrong and things you can improve. So always a good thing to see. But it's still well done on your performance, mate. Struggled hard against gun lines. My 2 wins were 100-point games, however. Change to AOC gives guns the edge over melee bullies. And this is what I said. I said the AOC nerf doesn't really help in melee. It benefits shooting, and it was so weird because it's already been a heavy shooting game, so to see that change happen kind of just incentivizes more shooting. So I do completely agree with you there, Chris, and that's what I predicted, and it seems to be, as we'll see, we'll go through in a second. you will see that sort of being represented on what the meta is kind of looking like. But thank you very much for the $5 super chat. And very quickly, before we carry on, if you do like the channel, please do leave a like and a subscribe. If you're not subscribed, leaving a like on the stream is extremely helpful. Yeah, I did. I know I'm doing a terrible job, aren't I? And if you really like, comment, subscribe. And if you really, really, really like the channel, consider becoming a Plague Ring. Lazy Chicken has just gifted a membership there to somebody. It's $3 a month. It's like less than a coffee. At least these days, it's less than a coffee price. And you get access to our Discord. You get access to join our giveaways, of which is an amazing one going on right now. Because what is it, Dave?
What is it we're giving away?
Yes.
Giving away, yeah.
Do you mean a certain well-designed something?
Yes, maybe.
Yeah, it could be. If anyone's been paying attention to what Netflix has probably been shouting about for the last by a month, spending $5 billion putting WWE on there. Well, there is a certain design piece of work that's being done by a friend who's a friend of one of our channel members, Mikey's, who actually designs some of the wear that people like Cody Rhodes, the current WWE champion, are wearing. And I believe there's a certain giveaway being done with that, with a design by this person on it.
Yes,
which is pretty spectacular. I've been on his Instagram and his X account and looked at his stuff, and it's really good. And there's loads of videos of the wrestlers wearing that stuff. So whoever's going to win that, it's actually a really super cool prize.
Yeah, so you
can
help
you lay the smackdown with your Death Guard arm.
Hey.
The sting down.
So yeah, you can get a very own shirt designed to your own specifications by working with the eyes.
Cool.
It's a really cool giveaway. So if you're interested in that, become a member, get in the channel, sign up for the giveaway, all that good stuff. But yeah, if you want to become a member, that's fine. Just leave a little like; it really does help out. And for Hugh in the channel, just asking, does comment live help? Literally everything helps. Any engagement in the channel at all just shows YouTube that people are enjoying it. So that is
just opening the window and shouting out the street outside. I'm watching Discussing News in right now. So if you want to do that.
The other thing you can do, by the way, just while we're on this, because we've got into chat about it now, is you can actually click the bell icon down below as well, and that will tell you when new content comes out as well, and that just also helps show that there's engagement with the channel. But yeah, thank you everyone for doing, for supporting. And I don't know about you guys, but also I suddenly went, 8.27k subscribers.
It's climbing.
Can I have 1 minute to say something? Which was I had two good deliveries today. Well, I had two deliveries today. One is a Kickstarter I backed a while ago, which is some really cool AR glasses that plug into anything, and they're actually really cool. And I was like, oh, cool. They sent me a free little Bluetooth keyboard with a touchpad on it. I was like, that's a great box. And I opened the other box, and I was much less happy.
I know exactly what this is, I think. Yay! Paints!
Paints and fucking brushes, excuse my French, brushes. Yeah,
so for people who don't know, to celebrate 8k subscribers, Dave agreed that he would paint. Dave has never painted a model. Have you built models, or do you not even build them?
No. I've never done any hobbying whatsoever.
So as part of the 8.5k subscriber special, Dave is going to paint a plague surgeon, the best model in the range, and
the worst. It's going to be the worst painted model of the worst painted model of the worst model in the range.
Are you going to do a live stream, Dave, and paint it live at all, or
I don't know. I could do, I guess. I've got no idea how long it's going to take to paint. I mean, what is it going to like?
Depends how much you want to do.
You actually have no idea.
I'd say
I could, but I don't know if anyone's going to watch it. I mean, I might do it just as a bit of fun for people to watch, but I guess I could do it as a bit of I could paint it and do a bit of a hangout at the same time.
I think it takes about 4 hours to do a character if you do it like with layers of highlight and stuff like that. But if you just,
I don't even know what that means in painting these models. So I'm going to be making this up as I kind of go along. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I've probably got an idea what a highlight on it is, but
you could probably base coat it and do like some kind of sort of simple effects about an hour and a half, I reckon.
All right, go on then, Lazy. I'll do it live. So just for you guys, because everyone's been so great about supporting the channel, so it's the least I can do.
But yeah, and also we are giving that one away, aren't we? I believe, aren't we, Dave?
Oh yeah. There's no way that one of you lot are not having it afterwards. But like Will said, it will be a complete one-off. I will, no matter how terrible it is, I will sign it in some.
You're like one of these eBay rescue jobs where it's like an inch thick in paint.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing. Just before it disappears off the chat as well. Ben Hayden, thank you for coming and playing me.
Yeah, thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate it. And also, Prometheus Williams with the $5 super chat. Discussing Resilient podcast, always providing the best Death Guard content. Cheers. Thank you very much for all the support through the years, mate.
I'm an ugly shake for that as
well. Sorry, guys, I think I kind of came in and interrupted your flow there. Please, sorry, go back to.
No, I mean you kind of came in just at the right time, Dave. We're kind of waiting for you to get on the call, because we wanted to sort of, I suppose, just share our thoughts on the win rate and the kind of results that we've seen from Death Guard, and talk about why we think maybe some of the meta shifts that have kind of influenced it. And because obviously it's a very volatile time. Obviously we've just had all the Grotmas detachments, the game's kind of in a lot of flux. People are experimenting. There's obviously a lot of pulling hair out at things like Star Charter. So I heard affectionately get called at the weekend, so I'm gonna call it that from now on. Yeah. So yeah, but I mean, what are your thoughts on here? And I feel like you're probably a good person to lead into this, because I've got some thoughts too, and I'm sure you do, Dave. But I know you kind of had some quite strong feelings on it, Aidan.
Well, let's. So first of all, I'm just gonna quickly go. So I've got Meta Monday on the screen right now. I'm just gonna quickly scroll down. We're not gonna go for every event. We'll just kind of look for the factions that keep repeating, just so we have an idea in our head of what's doing well in this first sort of like 2 weeks. So
how many events are in there, by the way?
There's quite a bit actually. We'll count them as we go through. But these, bear in mind, so very quick caveat, none of these are RTTs. All of them are at least 5-round events. So they're all GT plus higher events. So this doesn't take into account your casual games and all that stuff. So don't worry, like the Death Guard in casual games. This is purely looking at GT or higher level events, competitive scene games only. That is where these win rates are coming from. And big shout out as well to Meta Monday, because this guy does this every literal Monday.
Huge amount of work.
It's a huge amount of work, so big shout out for him. Go and show him some love as well if you can at some point. Just literally, the website is, you just Google it, called 40k Meta Monday. But yeah, so first event we got up, Dark Angels of Vanguard actually taking it, but then we got Space Marines, Custodes, Guard with the new Bridgehead, Necrons, Tyranids, quite interestingly. This is probably the more balanced one. When I first checked this one, I was like, okay, this is fair enough. Quite a bit of a thingy there. A couple of Necrons with Star Shatter. But as we go down, it kind of slowly gets worse. So then the next one, we got Guard with the Bridge again. And then Nids with Assimilation Swarm. What a Chad.
Wow.
Then Necrons, Guard, Custodes.
I'm just going to move this screen over here.
So, and then the next one, Star Shatter, Guard. A World Eaters, well done to that fella there.
Nice.
An Orc Tactical as well, which is pretty good. The next event, we got Guard again. Then you got Sisters and Eldar, so a bit different there. The one after that, GSC, so they're still around. Tyranids, Necrons, Star Shatter, Guard.
Custodians are back, people.
Custodes are definitely back at the moment. Next one, we got Star Shatter again. Grey Knights, new one, fair enough. CSM Recreation Spell, nice. Guard again. So Guard are still 100% in the meta. They ain't going anywhere. Then it was Custodes. Tau Auxiliary Cast, so nice to see them doing well. Death Watch popped to and won an event. However, as Will stated before, this is going to make their win rate look absolutely crazy. But there was basically just one guy playing Death Watch, or 2 people, I think.
I think it's five people, I think, over the whole data section.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about it a little bit in our team chat as well, you see.
So as we sort of... I'm just get rid of this a second. Yes, Dave. Okay.
So I'm just laughing at the poll.
I can't even see the chat because the poll is like blocking it for me. Now there we go, close. There we go, good. So just having a quick look at the highest win rates. So the highest win rates at the moment in the game are obviously Death Watch, as we stated down, with a 65% win rate. Again, small amount of players, but the army is actually really powerful. So that is something to keep an eye on, whether the popularity of that surges. But only 23 games recorded for Death Watch, so still a very low player count. Then we had Astra Militarum coming in with a 58% win rate. The new detachment, the Bridgehead Strike, on a 70% win rate. That's
massive. That's huge.
That is huge. That is a problem. Again, we'll have to see how that goes. Their original detachment's still on 53%, so the original one's not going anywhere. But the new one at 70%.
Wow.
There is a slight caveat with this though, for everyone that may be worried about Guard. Guard are getting their codex very soon. We got the pre-order for the army box, so that's going to show us the codex. And then we've got to wait a bit, obviously, but the new detachment might just be broken with current index rules, and Scions, for example, might have quite a nerf in the codex, which might actually balance out. So it could be like a month of misery against this Bridgehead Strike Force, but it should hopefully balance out in the codex.
When you get off the Grotmas, you get Grotmas and it's Christmas and it's great, and then you get a month of misery.
the
month out.
I think with the Guard one as well, it's probably best to sort of set expectations of what the nerf's likely to be, because they're probably very unlikely to change the data sheet, especially that new one that's linked to the kill team box, because that's a new data sheet. But effectively, when they do the codex, you kind of get like new points come out, and you would assume, because they do the digital points that aren't the same as what's in the book, you would assume that that's kind of like a kind of mini sort of like data slate, but just for Guard. So you'd hope that, like, if those units are undercosted, that they would sort of correct that when they sort of do the Codex points. Unless, of course, GW just trying to sell loads of those models and they actually make them cheaper, which could happen too. But let's look on the positive side and assume they're going to balance it rather than create a bigger problem.
Yeah, so very quickly, pop of Luke in the chat who's saying, I'm seeing 53% for Death Guard in meta. So that is probably taking the Goonhammer statistics, which take into account all sorts of games, casual games, anything that's recorded on their app. So I could literally go on my app right now, put in 5 Death Guard wins, and that will just automatically go into it, whether I've done it or not. These are recorded tournament games at a GT level or higher, so that is why it's a bit different there. Now, one scary thing to notice here is that the Astra Militarum combined have 137 games played, so there's still a large chunk of the meta right now.
There's a lot of people playing it, yeah.
There are. And with that win rate, it's very scary. It's likely to go up. The next one, however...
as many as our next friend, though.
Necrons, 209 players. So they are... So I think someone put this out. I think Necrons, someone told me this fact. Necrons have more players than any faction that isn't themselves. Guard, Space Marines, Tyranids, or Custodes. Everything else combined has less than Necrons. So Necrons are everywhere. And the worst bit is, of that 209 players, 104... Sorry, of those 209 games, 140 of them were Star Shatter Arsenal.
Wow.
So Star Shatter is here to stay, and it's rocking a 60% win rate with that much player representation. Why that's important is because the more people playing a faction should balance out, and actually, you see popular factions tend to drag the win rate down because the corresponding between like a really good player, like they're not as common as like your average player. So to have a win rate that high with a player representation that high would indicate that this army is overperforming quite heavily.
Definitely.
At a 60% win rate, and that many games in it, and Hypercrypt's still rocking a 56% win rate. Let's not forget about them.
Hypercrypt's not gone anywhere. Like, so Andy Hughes Cohen, who's on our team, was wrecking it in the UK with Necrons, LVO. London Grand Tournament, top cut and stuff like that. He's struggling with Star Shatter compared to the old attachment, and he's thinking about going back to it, he says. So that's a hot take, that Star Shatter might not even be the best way to play them. So apparently it struggles to score.
Yeah.
So he's not struggling to kill stuff, but he doesn't like how the scoreboard isn't sort of... I mean, admittedly, Andy, though, is one of these people, because he's so used to trashing people outside of, like, when he gets to the top cut at LVO. Like, if he wins a game by 10 points, he thinks it was a complete disaster, and he's not lost yet with Star Shatter, so you've got to take some of his feedback with a pinch of salt, but he is thinking about going back to the old attachment, he said. Star Shatter's stealing the show, but it doesn't mean that that's the only problem that Necrons have got. Is a bit of a hot take.
What I'm also concerned with is and this we talked about this before, is that because Necrons have been strong for so long, and so many more people came into playing Necrons, and then they've gotten Star Shatter, it's basically exacerbating the problem where we've got this giant pool of swollen Necron players that have had a strong army for a long time, that it's still strong now, and it's going to be strong for at least another kind of 3 months or so. So at least, at best until the next kind of points data state. So this problem isn't going away either.
Yeah, I think that's...
Is there any way for you to turn your mic up a little bit, Will, on the sensitivity?
Oh, yeah.
Just people saying it's a bit low, that's all. So I think Necron's definitely to stay. And then talk about resurgence. Adeptus Custodes coming flying out of the woodworks. 139 games, 53% win rate. Their new detachment rocking a 66% win rate. Oh, thank you very much, Natalie. She brought me a drink. Thank you very much as well, Dave, for the 10 gifted memberships.
Well, we've got 150 people watching, so
we do actually.
Amazing.
There you go.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. So the Wall, if you really like that song, if you become a member, you get access to download all of our songs for free on our Discord. So just saying,
go to the music channel.
$3, $3 use, or you might even get gifted one
for $3.
It's the best investment you'll ever make. So now this is interesting actually, because the Solar Spearhead is the one that's advocating for like a lot of dreadnoughts and stuff. And the thing is, when Custodes are good in the meta, you would naturally think that Death Guard prey upon them, which is quite true. Death Guard, like Custodes, matchup. However, this is not the Custodes matchup we are used to fighting against. This is a Dreadnought-heavy, high-toughness spike, not infantry. And I think that is something that actually gives us a lot of trouble, is the Custodes Dreadnought build. And they've been out of the game for so long, and now they're back in force. So even though we do see Custodes up at the top and performing well, I think that is actually going to be bad for us this time, because the most popular and the one doing well with that incredible 66% win rate is the Dreadnought / tank spam build.
Yeah.
It's old school Custodians coming back, right? Like the guy who got me into playing who hassled me into playing 40k was a hardcore Custodians player for 5 years, and I remember playing in the the early part of middle of ninth when I started playing. He used to be rocking the Achilles, how's the other one? The Shield and Sword Dreadnought. Those and the Forge World one as well, right? So it was Dreadnoughts everywhere, and this feels like that's kind of like deja vu of it coming back again with.
It's some standing back up again. That's it's a data sheet ability that though. Apparently they've always done that. I played against it. Every time he stood up, he always rolled a 5 or a 6 in the wounds. It was like, have to kill it again.
Yeah, and they've got -1 damage, haven't they? Been built, and like all the other dreads as well, and they've got the 4 up and.
Yeah, it's a hard
one. That's it. Gladys, thank you very much. Yeah,
it's a hard list to get through. I mean, it didn't kill as much as I expected it to kill, but it does kill. It didn't do it as quickly as I expected it to, if that makes sense. Like the Dreadnoughts were very killy, but like the Death Shroud's like -1 damage from the source and stuff like that. Like it did slow the army down a lot, but they still had. I don't know. We still had a lot of OC. It was still a very tough game, and the Caladius are no joke. Like, we don't have anything that can reliably duel with them, do we?
No.
Like, they're half a Predator, and the Predator shoots... You can shoot 2 Predators at a Caladius, and he might kill it. Whereas 1 Caladius shoots 1 Predator, and it's a miracle if it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's important to sort of remember that might be why we're having such a bad time, despite Custodes being up there at the moment. And again, caveat, first 2 weeks of data here, so don't worry too much about this. Just for the people in the chat. So carry on down. We've got Tyranids there and Demons. So this is more like your mid-table army. So these are all fine. This is wrong. Space Marines on a 49% win rate overall, but Ironstorm on a 58% win rate. I do not want to see Ironstorm come back into the game. I'm not gonna lie. That was miserable.
Does it specify how much of that is Ultramarines? Because I thought Ultramarines were meant to be like the big bad. So yeah, just doesn't separate them out.
Yeah, and just on that as well, Will, which is a good point. So one of the other comments that's flying around the VT chat as well is about Guilliman being too expensive to actually really make it work. The big threat that everyone thought it was going to be, and that actually for him you can get 2 Dreadnoughts or a couple of Dreadnoughts and a scoring unit, and whether that's actually turns out was actually more important. But yeah, I was same as you. I'd be interested to know out of Ironstorm how much of that is is Smurfs.
Though I will point out they still had 148 games played, so they still are a large proportion. They are also the most popular faction at Nottingham this weekend coming, next to Necrons. So even though maybe they're down here on the win rate, you're still going to have to prepare for Marines because they're still everywhere at the moment.
Hang on, we got Imperial Knights at 50%. Okay, that's all right.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, 66.
How many players are on the Imperial Knights? Because that might be like 3.
13 players.
Okay, yeah.
Is that
I guess
player
we
count?
Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights, so it's still a stat check. Like, do you know what I mean? Sometimes you just lose the... Like, for example, the Death Shroud build really struggles into both variants of Knights. Well, it depends what they're bringing, but, like, if it's with War Dog spam and Armiger spam, if they just... You can't get through the holes and they just out-OC you. Like, I played it and it was a close game, but I just couldn't kill them quick enough.
Yeah. And the problem is often if you with that particular build it's just you can't catch them.
yeah, that's the other one. Yeah, you kind of just stand in. One night towards on. The other 3 just blast you. You can't get to them.
So carry on down. We've got Orcs Whistles. Eldari, someone asked in the chat before, and a 46% win rate. Someone did take the new Eldari detachment and lost every single game, so they're on a 0% win rate for their new detachment. So well done, Howard Wost. Then we got CSM. Creations of Bile weirdly not doing very well, a 40% win rate, and that looks like
everyone keeps rolling a 1 to standing back up.
Possibly, and that was one of the ones people thought was going to be quite strong. So again, potentially, like, the detachment is strong, there's no denying that, but maybe it is a sign, like, melee at the moment is just being absolutely bullied out by all this shooting firepower in the game. So
feeling that way.
Now there is also a chance that's just because everyone's taking these weird, wacky, crazy, creations of bio lists. And no one's taking like the serious like 30-odd possessed pressure list. But it is interesting to see, so that's something we'll have to probably keep an eye on. Chaos Knights Tau, we'll say the new auxiliary cadre, and getting a 60% win rate, but again, only 10 games played, so only 2 players rocking it, so we can't take too much from that there. GSC being knocked down quite a bit to a 44% win rate overall. However, they still had an event win with Biosonic Brood Surge. So that army is still doing pretty well. And so it's a weird one. GSC, I think the people that are good at it are going to stick with it and still perform well.
I think that might be that some of the people who are good at it aren't there anymore. What I mean by that is like the people who jump to factions that they think will win event.
Yeah.
I think GSC's win rate might have been hit because those players have moved on to Necrons or Space Marines, for example. I mean, is it Ben Jones from Vanguard was running them?
Yeah.
For example, I'm guessing he's not on them anymore.
I don't think so, because he's in our team for ITT, and I know Porter's taken the GSC, not him. So I don't think he's practicing them right now. But then we've got Leagues of Votan with their new detachment getting a nice big 0% win rate as well.
Porter could take a packet of Watsits and probably win.
That's true. Oh, also, thank you very much, Sierra117, for becoming a Plague Marine, and also to Adnate Stavdal. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Really appreciate it. Once again, go to our YouTube homepage, check the community tab, scroll down a few posts, you'll find a link to join the Discord if you are a Plague Marine member. Once you're in there, just make sure you react to the rules post, everything unlock, and yeah, awesome. Thank you very much for the support, mate. Really appreciate it. Then down here we got Black Templars, Adeptus Mechanicus, Halo Screed, not having a great showing again. Only small players, because the problem with Admech is this is Admech's not an army you can jump to even if it was like really overpowered, because it's so expensive and so time consuming to get on. But strange to see Halo Screed so low. I genuinely thought we'd do a bit better than that. But again, people are still learning the attachments, getting used to them. So there's that.
I don't know. I think it's also people that Will said. I think maybe there's people that the majority of people that had. Maybe the good Adeptus Mechanicus group or the wider group has just jumped off to play something else.
Yeah.
Well, they're just not had to an event yet.
Yeah,
we're talking about 2 weeks worth of date there.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
A lot of people might not be playing events because they've got LVO coming up, so it might be like focusing on other things. So I think there's also like that caveat to sort of to take into account, if that makes sense. For example, how many top players who are off to LVO have got haven't got a game in because they promised to spend the weekend with their wife or the family before they fly out next week or something like that. So I think like Aidan said at the start, and obviously we'll keep going with the stats, but it's important to remember, take a pinch of salt, and this is just like it's a large data set in the sense that there's a lot of games played, but it's a short period of time, and more as time sort of goes on, will things change is a sort of the curiosity, because a lot of the Christmas detachments people also don't know how to play into them, which is something that we'll come to shortly. So yeah, I'll let you continue.
No, it's cool, but yeah, I mean, we're near the bottom anyway now. So Sister Battle brings a flame with a 0% win rate. Feels good. But no, they're only one player. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Hallowed Martyrs seeming to be the go-to for them now at a 50% win rate. Then you got Blood Angels, World Eaters coming low as well. Basically, all 3 God Legions are at the very bottom here. So we got World Eaters on a 41% win rate, Death Guard on a 35% win rate with 0 Flyblown host representation. It's just all play company. And Thousand Suns at the very bottom with a 31% win rate. The unfortunate thing here being that the Thousand Suns player base has abandoned them completely. There's only 26 games recorded. But for Death Guard and World Eaters, there was 93 games recorded. 85.
I was going to say, there's quite a lot of games compared to if you look even on what you've got left on the page here.
Yeah, it's
Thousand Suns are weird though, man. I have to say, Thousand Suns are kind of army where someone will still win an event with them. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you're if you're an amazing player playing Thousand Suns, they'll still go 4-1.
Yeah, 100%.
And they'll make it look easy because to them they'll know all the right things to do. Because they do just like one of the lads in our team's picked up recently, and it's just the damage output from them is insane.
Crazy.
Yeah,
like he's been like running the bolters on the Rubik's on a complete tangent. Because you can turn the bolters into like magic weapons.
Yeah, psychic weapons.
Yeah. And he just a spattering of like 9 mortal wounds from like 5 guys with bolters, and you're like, what? It's like insane. Yeah. So just to sort of say, I think Thousand Suns are weird, and I think the player counts and the win rates don't mean too much, because the guys who are good with Thousand Suns will still pop up and win a GT, and then the guys who are playing them more casually or still struggle, do you know what I mean? Because they're just not sort of playing the game with the thought process that's required to make the army sing with that many or that fewer model count.
Yeah. So Chuck and Nori coming in saying those 3 on the bottom 3, oof. Yeah, I'm gonna have a funny. I'm trying to get a Chaos Pantheon stream with Dara and a David, Doombolt Dave, this weekend. That'll be quite funny, given that we're all at the bottom of the trash pile at the moment. So that'll be quite a funny discussion to have. So yeah, those are the current stats here. So we'll want to move on to now. On Dats and Des, thank you very much for being a Plague Marine for 13 months. Really appreciate the
Amazing.
support, and howdy to you too, sir. So one of the things we want to talk about now is sort of why we think this is. So obviously we've caveated all the things of this being like only a week's worth of data and things like that. But what do you guys genuinely think is the one thing that's making Play Company drop in with a 35% win rate this early on? Because here's the thing. I can understand the new detachments having bad win rates, but Play Company, like if this was Flyblown hosted a 35% win rate, I can understand it. This is Play Companies. We play Play Company. We all know Play Company at the moment. Play Company's been figured out for a while now. So why the sudden dip? This was a 50, was it a 52% win rate we won in the last thingy? To drop this harsh after a change where we didn't really get nerfed. Did we get any changes? We didn't get any points changes, did we? Literally none.
We did have a couple. I can't remember what it was.
They
Actually,
went-
something
they
went
pretty
down,
minor,
wasn't
though.
it?
Yeah.
The Bowser's Putrefier went down 10 points.
Ah, okay, there you go.
That's what it was.
So to see such a huge drop, and again, it's not just because no one took him. 93, like 33, 19 players playing 93 games. That's still quite a drop. So we'll go with Dave first. What do you think your initial reaction is to what's caused this? Do you reckon it's due to the meta change? Do you reckon it's due to us not having great matchups that are doing well? Where's your head at on it?
So what I would, of course, love to see is what did we lose versus what did these players play into? Would be obviously the key to answering that question. But I mean, if I'm going to take a kind of a guess at it or a supposition at it, it's probably I think we've maybe got more worse matchups now. Like I think Marines have suddenly become. I think someone put it in the chat that you can't disrespect Marines anymore in the same way. With some of the capability of Oath and things like that now. So whilst yes, things like you've got so whilst Armor of Contempt isn't as good as it was, I think if you then shift to sitting at the back and blowing stuff, deciding that now you're shifting to more melee or more shooting and you're going to stay out of combat, that's I think probably what's hurting us, and the fact that Necrons were always a really difficult matchup, and now that there's seemingly even more of them in the mix. So I would say probably from my perspective it'd be a mix of shooting and our matchups have gotten worse.
That's fair.
Yeah.
What yourself, Will?
So I've got a different hot take, and I'm guilty of doing what I'm about to say. I think is the problem. I think the problem is the Death Shroud build. I think the Death Shroud build isn't as good as we first thought, because once you learn how to play against it, it's very easy to beat. Like the more people have played against it, like if you kill all the chaff and you just leave the Death Shroud and Mortarion, you hit a point in the game where the Death Shroud move 4 inches, they have a threat range of 16 inches on the assumption that you're going to roll a 12-inch charge, which of course never happens. And Mortarion is output and he's only 4 OC, so people realise they can stop you scoring and then just throw chaff on objectives. I think we've hit a playstyle which is maybe a little bit too linear, and I'm wondering if that's a part of it, because the early Death Shroud build, so I was where was it you with Leicester? People were coming up to me and sort of saying like, Will, like I've just been paired in Death Shroud, what do I do? And I saw one of the guys who randomly I saw him in Leeds, and he was like, oh, thanks very much for that, like what you told me was 100% right. I killed all the chaff, left the Death Shroud and Mortar until the end, won the game, it was the easiest one I've ever played. And I was like, oh,
So you're the
kind of
reason.
thing where yeah, well, it was a penny dropped of like, but the more games I've played, the more I'm finding this. So like, I played a game against Orcs, and this was the best example. We hit a point that I held all 3 middle objectives at the end of like, at the start of my turn 5, or maybe it was hard. And basically, I was going to score all 3 middle objectives at the end of turn 5, I think it was. I think I had to like take them, but I scored hardly any primary up until that point because I just didn't have the OC. And then to win the game, I had to flip 2 certain cards. I actually flipped those cards, and then my whole army just moved 4 inches, and I couldn't get to the board edges to do containment.
Yeah.
And I couldn't like do the other one either, and it was just like, oh. So I think, so I'm wondering if the Death Shroud build is a bit of a trap at this point, where I still think Death Shroud are good, and I'm still playing them. I'm still determined to make this work, because part of me thinks maybe it is me. But the more games I'm playing with them, the more I'm losing games that the Plague Marine spam list wouldn't have lost.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, I haven't had a blowout loss either. So I think for teams and stuff,
Yeah.
I think we probably have a really good point. But I think just for singles, is it actually the best build? It's a question. I'm not saying that like it's not anymore, but I think the more we're playing them, the more people play against it. For example, like fast armies, like Tau, just go, so what's your threat range? Right, okay, I'm 16 inches away, or 15 inches if they're thinking of making 11.
Yeah, yeah.
Shoot all the guns at you, run like one chaff unit on the objective, and go, right, so you don't score that, and I'm going to shoot you now, and then your turn, okay, you're going to clear that chaff unit, or whatever, but then I'll put another chaff unit out, and then you can't get to their objectives if they're screened properly. So I don't know, I'm finding more and more that it's quite a very linear build. And I'm sure there's ways to get around that, like I'm just throwing more and more chaff into the list and trying different things. But I'm wondering if that's a part of it. I wonder if we're sort of anyway, that's my thoughts on it. I don't know if either of you guys agree or disagree, and maybe people in the chat are sort of finding the same from their games. Maybe they think I'm mad and I'm just not playing it right. But I think
people think you're Alpha Legion is what they think.
They're just not putting enough war dogs in the list. That's what it is. More war dogs in the list, and we'll get the win rate back, guys. Put them carnivores in freaking.
Go on, Aidan. What's your view, Aidan?
So I mean, I think a lot of it is due to the obviously the predominance of Necrons, Guard, and Custodes with the new builds. Necron's not a good matchup in general, and I think the problem we have there is the Necron build can be beaten, but it is beaten on the scoreboard, and that is where, as Will just said then, the 18 Death Shroud brick, if you're playing in Play Company with the other top tools Play Company takes, you're going to struggle to beat. I think the 18 Death Shroud, or 15 as I've been running, in Flyblown actually can shit all over Star Shatter, because you can just let it score nothing. I'm weirdly coming around to Flyblown being potentially better, because the one thing that is always true in Warhammer is, and it was the same at the start of this edition, when Death Guard weren't very good, you could just win if you just focused on scoring as much as possible. Because that's how we did at the start. We just PBC'd, mod people to death safely while using really rubbish units to score everything. So I think there is that angle, and I think the traditional build of the 18 Shroud plus like Predators and stuff, Predators don't win shoot-offs against Doomsday Arcs at all, and like Will said there, once you've reduced to like just your Death Shroud, you're easy to play around, and those guys will also just eventually die to all the shooting output. Astral Latarum just is a horrendous, like that thing is just needs fixing. Like I've played against it, and it's just like, so they can have like a list of like 400 OC or something. All the Scions, they have 6 squads of Scions now. Bear in mind, one squad of Scions dropped down and picked up a 6 Death Shroud unit, and that wasn't even in this detachment. That was in the other one. So this one now has +1 to wound as well to negate the -1s to wound, and it doesn't work anyway because they're lower strength than me anyway. You just get obliterated. And this is on, so they have 6 of them squads, and then on top of that, they still have like big 20-man squads of Krieg with 5 up, feel no pain, resurrecting D3 guys a turn. They can take 6 plasma guns in a squad that can get them to hit on 2s with +1 to wound, rerolling 1s to hit and wound. Like, it is, like, Guard should not be that efficient and should not be that good. It is just absurd, and the fact that that has got a 70% win rate, when I saw that, like, if I saw a detachment with 70% win rate and that much players, normally I'd be like, oh my god, I saw that and I was like, yeah, that's about right. The only thing that's sort of holding that back is that not many people own enough Scions yet, but the worry is if this goes on for too long, people buy more and more Scions, and then suddenly it becomes everywhere. But again, the Codex could fix all that. And the Custodes build, once again, weirdly, I think Flyblown has the advantage in the Custodes Dreadnought matchup, because I don't care if you're a big swingy Dreadnought with 5 mega, strength 12, AP 3, damage 3 attacks. I got 20 Poxwalkers, I'm just going to stand on the objective. You'll take you 4 turns. If you hit and wounded, and I fail every single field opponent, every single one, to kill him. And even if you do, like, you leave a single guy at one point. If you charge me, I had 6 guys left. You kill all 5. I'm down to 1. You go, cool. I auto see you. I'm going to make you take a battle shock test at -3, because if you fail it, I'm still going to hold it. It's going to be funny. So I'm weirdly coming around to Flyblown Host, but it's mainly as I don't think Flyblown Host is better as a detachment or stronger. I think Flyblown Host actually might just have better game into the Necrons and Custodes matchup. I don't think. Oh, by the way, Flyblown Host into Bridgehead is horrendous. You just get obliterated. Like, but I think the same happens with Play Company. Bridgehead Strike Boss is just stupid. I would actually say this is worse than Star Shatter. Like just the thing is, when a Doomsday axe shoots me, it annoys me. Like Doomsday does a lot of damage and it's really tough and it's hard to kill.
Yeah.
But at least it's like a very expensive tank and they have like 3 of them in Silent King and the rest of it's kind of like rubbish. This is just, hey, I've got 6 dispensable sound squads that are gonna kill any unit you put out, and then I've still got like 500 dudes back there. Which is
and I don't even really care if they die.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like they can actually match me on the OC front as well, because they're just like, cool, here's some guardsmen that are 2 OC each, so a squad of 20.
That's
and now I'm
the
going
other
to use the order. Now the OC 3. So it's like, cool, this is interesting.
Well, it's, we would, you know, I know, and something as Aiden's been very seeing like as if he's browsing the Matrix with the list Will and I have been sending back and forth for the last 2 days, but it's. You know, even if you put like an OC War Dog onto a point, even towing it on site, and then someone puts 5 guardsmen on it, okay, great. I don't hold that.
The worst bit is when they use the order and 3 guardsmen do it because they're OC 3 each.
Yeah, right, and it's just wild. Like that in itself is, and especially when then it's not even like those are super special guardsmen or a special unit, an elite unit that costs loads of points. You know, there's like you said, there's another 500 dudes behind them.
Yeah, it's kind of absurd how good the army just plays this edition at the moment, and I don't see that going down too much. Sir Monstein saying he misses sticky objects when he plays Flybloat. I agree, and that is why I've changed my list, and now I have 2 units of Plague Bearers, because the OC is nice and the sticky is very nice on that one. I dropped, the list I was running, I've dropped a Hauler and the Beast of Nurgle, and I've swapped it for 10 more Plague Bearers and a Noxious Blightbringer to have the access to the -3 leadership test stuff. For the Battle Shock test, it's doing pretty alright. So
you still got a Tallyman in there, by the way.
I still have the Tallyman in, yeah. It's just because it's really CP hungry.
Yeah,
I don't like it. I really don't like it, but like it's so CP hungry, I just like kind of need him. It's like a necessary evil. But I mean, we also talk about Space Marines. Their representation is really high. I think who was it who said it before? Who you picked up on? Was it Laser? Was it Crystal Light who said about Crystal Light, strong guy, about people maybe not respecting Marines as they should, because we've had Morty and stuff right now, and especially with the 80 Death Shroud as well, the new Oaths is very good at killing those like tough units, +1 to wound on like Morty or like against our Death Shroud to negate the -1. That's a big difference in like output of your unit that you can take, and you might have played games against Marines before where you knew you could walk out, you wouldn't die to that thing, and now suddenly like you've just been obliterated by it. Someone said Mortarian got killed by 10 bolt rifles. I imagine you mean Sternguard ones. But yeah, like that can change. I saw David Irvin run 10 Sternguard in Librarius Conclave, pick up a Baneblade in a turn. So like, like don't get me wrong, like there is some scary stuff out there right now, and maybe it's just a case of because we didn't change much, our list hasn't evolved because again we didn't have new stuff to go and try. The rest of the game has very much evolved. Like Necrons have just gone to Star Shatter. Custodes are back in the game.
It might even be that because we had those point stocks and we've stayed the same, going back to the Death Shroud thing, that we're still trying to try this new build, and actually we need to go back to old Death Guard builds, you know, bring the Plague Bus back out like you said, you know, Plague Marines jumping out of Rhinos, because when you describe the Guard build, I'm like, Plague Marines jumping out of Rhinos would definitely be the best way to beat that. Like, I'm not saying it's a favourable matchup, but I'm saying it fixes a lot of the problems. You have the high OC, you've got a lot of units to run around with, like they can't get the Plague Marines out, get the transports first, because as much as those guys coming down kill infantry, they don't reliably kill vehicles or the Scions and stuff like that. So it seems like, you know, have we gone too far to sort of focus on new things? Do we actually need to go back a little bit? And that's a perfect example of the Poxwalkers, you know, like a horde build, no other armies in the meta are just running idiot bodies that are just going to throw on an objective with the debuffs that we can put on them. So you've kind of got like a unique flavour there. And I also wanted to throw in, because you talk about all the vehicles in these sort of armies, like Lehman Russes in Guard, Caladius tanks in Custodes, yeah,
all the new dreadnoughts that are walking around the Custodes.
Yeah, but then think about Predators, because this is the thing with Predators that like I find more and more, they don't duel with them.
No,
like,
they don't.
But we don't
reliably kill any one of those vehicles. 3 Predators might, even then it's dicey. Do you know what I mean? Whereas all of those vehicles pop our vehicles really easily, so we lose the long range firefight really quickly. So it's just
we haven't got a range of vehicles that like other people do on that front.
Yeah.
And I mean, especially looking at Ironstorm also being the most successful Marine list. If we look at, let's look at the top percentage of the meta right now. So if we've got the most so even though not the highest win rate, it's the one of the most popular factions. Space Marines, their best attachment, Ironstorm Spearhead. Then at the top, we've got Necrons, Starship Arsenal, Custodes, Dreadnoughts. That's a lot of vehicles in that top spot, so that meta.
Yep.
And that is one thing. And even combined regiment from Guards still there, so you're still expecting to see tank commanders and things like that. And the one thing Death Guard just can't deal with is those kind of vehicles. So, again, maybe Will is right. Maybe Brigands have to come back in just for that melter access. Maybe your
Haulers?
yeah, maybe your
I
bloat
actually
drones
find
become
Blight
haulers.
Haulers sometimes kill vehicles better than a Predator, just for the +1 a wound. Like I found, they have to get up close, which is the other problem.
Yeah, they do. That's the problem.
But when they do get up close, they do actually punch their vehicle way better than I expect them to. For example, they wound Dread Knights on 2s if you're in Contagion.
Yeah,
Like-
it's good, but because you then have to get close, is then they've got 3 OC, and I'm not saying they're not good by the way, because they are, and you're actually right, they do kill stuff. For me, it's like the danger is you get close enough to do that, and then they get tagged by a low cost infantry unit, which they don't kill in melee, and then they get charged onto a point and out OC'd or something. It's they are good at what you're absolutely right. They're good at kind of killing stuff, but I think they just don't. It doesn't give us quite the same. It doesn't feel like quite the same as sticking a dreadnought on something that can then smash in melee and then deliver, underslung, devastating wounds, and then have a rocket pod and
Yeah, it's
that's also very fair.
I think another problem is at the moment, if we look at the top 2 armies, let's say Bridgehead Strike Force, and which is 70% rate there, you're going to meet them at top table, especially even this combined regiment. Bridgehead especially is infantry spam. That is infantry skew, and the other 2 things at the top, which is Necrons and Custodes, are vehicle skew. That's hard to deal with. And the weird thing is, this is the strange thing. Bridgehead Strike would seem like a good matchup for us because again, Death Guard, one thing we can do is kill infantry, but the problem is you can't outtrade that. Because they can take 6 squads of Scions. If a Scion squad drops down, and then you react to it, you bring out a Death Shroud squad, flame them to death. Great, excellent. The second squad drops down, kills your Death Shroud. For instance, repeat that. You can do it 3 times, they can do it 6 times.
I mean, they're really smart.
You don't want to eat the Overwatch either from
Yeah.
a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. But with that, it's the 6-inch deep strikers also. They'll come in deep strike and they'll just move block you. So,
Yeah.
for example, my example of why I thought Plague Means getting out of Rhinos would be a more preferable way to play that guard matchup. But then what if they just come and they just do a 6-inch ring box around the Rhino? So you have to go through the guard to get to them. And if one, and then there's sort of one of their guys lives or something, so you have to pile away from the objective that's behind them. Or if they also put, enough OC on there. I don't know. I think there's ways that a smart guard player could still beat you. Which is kind of the point that you're getting at.
So, given that these things are happening, these changes are coming in, is there anything you guys can think off the top of your head to how to maybe adapt to this? For me personally, I'm kind of just going to ignore the Astronaut Time one until we see that codex, because I'm not going to prep for a boogeyman that might not be here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, you can't. No,
you can't. It's just silly. So really, right now, my focus is on dealing with the Necrons and the Custodes matchup, and where my head's personally at is to just stick with my flyblown that I've been running. It's not particularly the most fun thing in the world, but it scores, and it scores pretty well. Now, the problem with that, obviously, is I make myself vulnerable to stuff down here. But I'm going to try and rely on certain elements of, just player skill to beat some of the lower down armies, especially because all people, the good players tend to chase the good armies. So, I'm going to try and rely on that personally. But do you guys have any advice of people that obviously are going to stick with Play Company? Is there anything you guys think you're going to maybe change in your approach or how you're going to go with things? Or maybe you're going to bring some, Will, maybe you said there, maybe we go back to old school Death Guard. We go away from the 18 Terminator Shroud build. We bring stuff Plague Marines Rhinos back, things like that. So we'll go with Will first this time.
So yeah, I mean, maybe he's bringing Plague Marines and Rhinos back. Coming back. I mean, so my Death Shroud build, what I'm taking to Nottingham is 15 Death Shroud. I'm kind of finally thinking that 15 might be better. Having sort of listened to Aidan and Dave and other people. And then I just do more chapping. So I've got 2 Beasts of Nurgle, 20 Poxwalkers, 3 10-man squads of Cultists. And I've tried to build the list in 2 halves. So one half just plays the mission, and the other half just kills. I don't know if that's better or not, but it's got way more chaff than it had previously. And maybe it's just playing the mission more is actually going to help me win games by scoring more. So I'm losing out on the killing, but maybe I'm going to be better on the scoreboard, and you know, I can maybe sort of get some small wins. Whether that's enough, I don't know. Is the reality. But you know, as I say, Beast of Nurgle, they go nicely with the Death Shroud because it's, you know, people don't have the shots to deal with everything. So you know, I'll report more after Nottingham, and then I have another team's event the week after where I'm also running 15 Death Shroud. At the request of the other people in the team, actually, I was actually going to run the Plague Marine span for that because I think it's more reliable in the team setting. It doesn't have any bad matchups in terms of it shouldn't get blown out by anything, but it also it probably might not win some games. So I thought it'd just be a good, you know, sort of like first defender or whatever. But I'll say I'll compare the two because I don't have demons in the second one, so I've got a little bit more killing. I think after that, I'll have made my opinion on Death Shroud. If at the end of those two events I haven't, you know, felt that they've done really well, I think I'm going to put the Death Shroud back in the box. So certainly that many. Maybe I'll keep 6 to 9 because I think for little 3-man units might be good. That you just play as little bombs, you just drop them in, and then you know your Plague Marines kind of holding the primary elsewhere. There's the UKTC boards. Just to sort of quickly mention before we move on to Dave, they have moved one of the ruins that was previously really hard to hold on the diagonal deployment. I forget what it is because it was really easy to just come down and get a line.
Crucible Battle, I think it is.
Yeah, and Crucible. So the 10-man Plague Marines sit really nicely there now.
Is that the top one that they rotated to open?
Yes. Yeah.
So
that cost me my my 4-1 at LGT, I think.
Yeah, they've rotated it back now to closed.
I think it's a good move. I think for us. So I think 10 Plague Marines and maybe 9 Death Shroud could be a build to look at. You know, just for UKTC boards. But anyway, Dave, I know I've hogged the time, so
no, not at all. No, not at all. It's totally valid. I just think, look, what I think is really good is and is which I think is really nice. So Aiden's gonna crack on clearly with Fly Blown on the front. Will's gonna look to go back to maybe Plague Marines or that kind of approach, like eventually after this. What I was to say just before I jump into what I was going to say about Death Shroud build is we haven't actually been playing that very long. I know it feels like forever, but we haven't actually been playing. On the whole, we haven't been playing 18 Death Shroud that long. But I do think you're right that we need to kind of try some other stuff. So what I think I've really decided I'm going to do is I'm going to do shooty Death Guard. So if Will's going to try and take that bit down, Aiden's going to do Fly Blown. I'm going to try and I'm going to take something very shooty to LVO, and I'll run something a bit more shooty for a couple of maybe the next event I go to as well, and in the run up to it. So, you know, 3 Predator Destructors default in the list, mixing in some, you know, heavy blight launchers, probably on a drone or 2. I might stick back in a Land Raider perhaps with either Plague Marines or, you know, a unit of Death Shroud in it, and just see what that's like to launch out into a unit to get that extra movement and get over that shorter problem. Or I might even put a despoiler back in. And the other thing I'm umming and ahhing around is whacking is potentially putting some Plague Blast Crawlers back on the table.
So fun thing, Dave. Just very quickly, fun thing is the Battle Calendar spoiler is one of the few things we can take that will, on average, 1 round of Doomsday out from full.
Yeah. I know. So, and
terrible points trade. But
true, but if they've only got them 3 in Silent King, if you survive the retaliation, you pick up another one. But suddenly,
this is where if you put, this is where if you put if they're shooting that, they're not shooting other things. So I think it's an interesting one, and it's especially, and if you look at things like,
you know what, Dave? I feel like you're the madman to do it. That, Rotigus and Mortarion, and go for the toughness 12 skew with a Land Raider as well. see if you can make those 4 units work.
Well, you can do 2 Land Raiders. But yeah, that's I'm going to run. I'm going to go. I'll run Shooty Death Guard, and we'll report back in a little while on those.
Awesome. I mean,
nice.
So I think, like I said, we're going to all be sort of doing different things here. So Will's going to crack on with the 18 Death Shroud, then maybe like sort of start swinging it back. Dave's going to take his like shooty gun line sort of idea. I'm going to be rocking Fly Blown. Going to be just because the thing is, it's so new and everyone's still adapting. So like, if you came for today looking for like answers and like flirted answer the meta, we don't have the answers just yet because the meta's still forming. We're just giving our ideas of like what we're going to try next and what we think and what are the reasons for what he's doing it. So obviously, one thing I did want to ask actually is you two, Morty, are we still taking? Or yes or no?
So, you go first. Dave.
Okay. All I was going to say was, do you know, actually, interestingly, with Armor of Contempt being less, kind of less prevalent now, is I might, depending on what I can put in for another 300 points to get more guns in, I might consider dropping him, but the ignoring modifiers is still huge, and I am pretty good at driving a car park, so and using
I am not
getting him around that. Because I mean, it's a while ago now, but I mean when I went to, I think it was maybe even less than the year before, but when I ran that stupid list, which was what 5 predators, a Land Raider, 3 PBCs, a Hellbrute, which I think I had like 15 las cannons in that list or something. That was very, very effective, and I actually even into World Eaters, it was great. I mean, that was a while ago now, but so I don't know. If you drop Morty, you do get a lot more guns.
Ooh, see, I think more depends on the build. I think he has to be with the shroud spam because he can't risk those shroud being any flipping slower.
Yeah.
I think he's also a good bullet sponge and he adds a bit of speed, which the list really, really needs. So I think Morty makes sense there. He's not in my Plague Marine spam list. He hasn't been and wouldn't have a place. And I also wrote a flyborn list yesterday, which I'm going to try in some test games sort of before I decide if I'm ever going to take to an event. But he's not in there for me either, because I think the lone op strat on the Sorcerer means that, you know, because all the slowing down mechanics are generally like Basilisk and outer line of sight guns. As soon as someone has to come with an 18, you can kind of take it because you can set other things up. But that list, my version, has 3 brigands. So I think you can set it up so that, okay, you come within 3, so your brigands going to step out the water and load on you.
Yeah.
So I think there's a play there, and that's only got 12 Death Shroud in, just to make the points work. So that's my thoughts on Morty. I think it depends on the build. I think it depends what else you're doing. I think Morty and Rotigus is still really interesting. Like Rotigus is so cheap for his points, like it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He struggles in that armor, I found, but for his points, he should be way more. Even 330, I think he'd maybe be on the cheaper side.
Gosh, Will.
yeah.
Alpha Legion will.
Haven't you seen the win rate? We've got it tough enough as it is at the minute. Stop trying to get our points raised.
There you go. But
My God,
back to you, Aidan.
I mean, I think I need Morty in Flyblown.
You do, yeah.
He provides a big distraction. He also allows you to do catapulting things and just giving the army cover. Weirdly, I've been taking the cover on him a lot more, just to give Poxwalkers 6 up in the open versus all, because people will put all the rubbish shots in Poxwalkers and they tend to be like stubbers and stuff which are AP 0, and every 6 I make saves me a Poxwalker. So I'm still taking Morty. Plus, people really like to shoot Morty. And
people love shooting Morty.
People love shooting Morty. And every shot that goes into Morty isn't into my Death Shroud or anything like that, I'm more than happy to take. I've gone off of the idea of taking him out for something, but at the moment, like I said, I've got 60 Poxwalkers, I've got 15 Death Shroud, I've got 20 Plague Bearers as well, and then some like characters and 2 Haulers and Morty. So I've already got a lot of stuff on the board like to mess around with and unit and Nurgling. So I'm not too bad at the moment. So yeah, we'll just have to keep sort of experimenting and sort of like see how this new meta plays out. I'm interested to see Nottingham obviously this weekend. That's probably one of the biggest events with the new meta, so it's fully sold out, so it's like 400 players, so
wow.
Be really interested to get the data from that. And there is some Flyblown players there, so I want to know how they get along with it. But I mean, yeah, new year, new meta at the end of the day, isn't it? Everything's sort of changing.
Got to try these things.
We've got to try these things. We're going to adapt to it, and yeah. You can get cover. Yeah, you can get cover against AP0 shots. They have a 7-up save, but it's not a dash, which means you can, in cover, get +1 to your save roll, which puts it to a 6. So there you go, 6-up save. So I mean, yeah. As for like answers for people right now, obviously there's not too much going on. We just got to keep playing, got to keep trying stuff out. If you have been to some of these events and you came at with a 2-3 record or something, just try understand where the losses were at. And maybe, if it's become more of a shooting game, maybe focus on getting either some more Rhinos to keep stuff safer. Like I said, going back to Plague Marines.
Plague Bus,
MSU sort of builds. And again, worst case scenario, double down on the scoring aspect. You can always win games from scoring. So like Will said there, take some out, put some more scoring in. It'll genuinely make the world's difference. But yeah, I mean, obviously we've been going on for an hour now. Any guys got
Yeah,
sort of like
pretty
anything left to say? Also, very
No, I
quickly,
think we've-
sorry, very quickly. Strongboy, thank you very much for being a member for
Actually, I
15 months. 7-man Plague Marines and Biology Preach Fighting Flyblown. 0P's CP Grenade, then Enervating Onslaught. That's actually quite cute. I might try that out. That's quite a bit of mortals that can spike out of nowhere. And then Brock Laughlin, love the channel, keep up Nurgle's work. Thank you very much for being a member for 13
Thank you,
months,
bro.
mate. Really appreciate it.
A Nurgle wiggle.
So, Death Guard Cat is just meowing her head off by the door. I'm just going to
So-
throw her out quickly. You guys, carry on. What's that?
So I'll have to do a shoot shortly because with us making the dinner. But I did want to throw in there a reminder of something we talked about because there was a leak today about Chaos Knights. The leak was from one of these classic things where they've sort of sent like new packaging for a box and it's got like description just adding like some new weapons options or like a new War Dog name. So I've seen that floating around. So it reminded me that the Chaos Knights book is coming. So we talked a while ago, me and Dave, and I said that when the Chaos Knights book comes, I'll switch to Chaos Knight. Maybe for a short while, we'll see how well it goes until the Death Guard book comes, and we'll maybe do some Chaos Knight focused content. Kind of also talk from the Allies' point of view, but also just to sort of change up a little bit. So when the book drops, I'll try and do like a read through. Hopefully, one of these guys on the call and do it more like some of the channels do. Talk about some different builds, and then maybe even get some guests on. I know Adam Camilleri and some other sort of Chaos Knights focused players. And then if people want more of that content, you know, we'll do it separate. You know, I'll be kind of like the Chaos Knights correspondent, you know, reporting live from the scene of the crime or whatever. And we'll see. So you know, people can sort of say whether they think that's a good thing or not. Because we know there's no Chaos Knight focused channel. And I'm obviously, you know, I do have a very extensive collection there. So I wanted to just sort of voice that because the Chaos Knights book is obviously sort of coming after the Guard one. So that could be coming within, you know, the next few weeks. So just if people want to put their sort of thoughts or opinions on that in the comments, obviously we'll, you know, if people want to sort of you know, they're not interested in that, we'll make sure the thumbnails are very clear so you can see if anything that's focused just on Chaos Knights, people don't get misled into thinking it's Death Guard content. And also, if you have a friend who plays Chaos Knights, obviously pass that on. Let them know, you know, tell them to sort of tune in. And, you know, obviously, I'm not known for being a Chaos Knights player, but I have played them on and off. So yeah, hopefully my opinions won't be complete garbage. I'll become the laughing stock of the internet.
No, I think you've had some form of Chaos Knights in your list for years, haven't you? So
There you go. Yeah.
that's the way War Dog Will is the man
War
to do
Dog
it.
Will.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, so I thought I'd just remind people out there because obviously that's something we're going to trial basically and just see what people think of it.
It also just makes sense from you know, even for the Death Guard community though, from an allies perspective as well. It's like what can I do with them in there? How does it help? Like, so it's going to be really useful.
Yeah, because we talked as well when the Demons book comes up. If there is a demon book, we might. I might, for example, do some mono demon stuff based on the Christmas detachment at some point, and maybe do a video about how disastrously bad it went or something like that. So just expanding to sort of other Nurgle things. I know Dave and Aidan, I'm sure, some Nurgle demon stuff. So that might be some stuff we touch on at some point too. So just with it being a new year, thought I would sort of just throw that out there as well. And if people actually do really want to see the Nurgle demons detachment from Christmas out there. I have a very deep Nurgle Demons collection. I was actually playing Nurgle Demons when I got back before.
I would play that now. After playing Flyblown Host, I would play that. I'm having a weird enjoyment of Flyblown at the moment, and Plague Legion looks like it's along the same lines of absolute bullshit. So.
Well, there you go. So if people watching this want to see some Plague Legion, me and Aidan sound like we're interested. I'm sure Dave's got a big collection. So maybe we'll all agree to write a Plague Legion list and take it to an RTT or something, and we'll do something like that. Or even if we'll just write a list and just do an episode talking about why we wrote the list. So yeah, so let us know in the comments if that's something that you'd like to see, because that could be a fun little challenge for us all.
Good idea. Yeah.
And just very quickly, just to answer your fellow in chat, Hugh Janus asks. Any thoughts? Any thoughts?
Is it Hugh Janus?
Yeah, it's Hugh Janus. Yeah.
I always mishear that. Something.
Yeah. So he's just got a comment saying, "Any thoughts on the new Death Guard model?" To which I'm just going to reply, "I have no idea what model you are talking about."
Yeah.
It's a secret, but Auspex Tactics might have a video about it if you want to know more.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. Not that I'd know. So yeah, I think anything else to sort of end off with there, Dave? maybe a message of hope for the people who may read the title and like consider eBaying their army.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what they could do if they're looking at that title and they want to know how they could get better and change that win rate. Where might they go to get some coaching to help us elevate our win rate past 35%?
Well, I think just before we do that, I think.
Oh,
like,
sorry, but
No, that was a good segue.
It was
I thought I was going to move there. You've ruined it, Dave.
No, it was a great segue. It's just, but Aidan asked for a message of hope for the people beforehand, so I was going to just do a, 4.5 a season ago, we we are going to be. All we've got is this is what happened before, right? We got to a place at the start of 10th.
Back in my day.
Exactly. I remember when Death Guard was at a 55% win rate.
I remember when Mortarion was 400 points.
I remember when he had 7 attacks on his strike. In all seriousness, we've been. We'll refer to it previously. We've been in the situation of D for Death Guard. We've been in the situation of the start of 10th. And then what we've done as a, we've worked out, right? As a community, we've kind of tried new lists, we've tried new builds, tried new combinations of things. So I've no doubt we'll do it again. These win rates, as the guy said, it's from the first 2 weeks of the year. We are not thousands of games in yet. We don't know what it's going to be. So, we've got the Guard Codex coming out, like Aidan said. Let's hope there's going to be some fixes in there. So, yeah, just like Aidan said, don't eBay your army yet, because we are going to get hopefully Codex this year, and then we're all going to be having fun with it again, regardless. So I think it's just delve back into your collections, mix it up a bit, and try some stuff, and we'll tell you what's going on with it.
Yeah, that's
good.
That's I missed very quickly. I missed the donation before. Chris Latt said most people don't have the hobby done to take an effective fly blows to a serious tournament. It's really off meta compared to typical play company. A very good and valid point. I weirdly do, because I had 120 poxwalkers already, so I will try my best to represent the Flyblown host for us at the next event I go to. And D-Walk as well, thank you very much for coming to play, mate. Massively appreciate the support. Again, check the community tab on our YouTube homepage for the link to join the Discord there, mate. But yes, Will, back to your question.
Yeah, there you go. So everyone get better with. If I get some coaching, where would I get it from, guys? Come on, tell me where I get a coaching service.
I'm assuming Aidan wants me to do this one. I thought he was going to jump in and do it there.
I'm letting you do this one.
Oh, you can let me do it, fine. Well, if you want to learn to play Death Guard in a one-to-one situation, you can actually go to Vanguard Tactics' very own Death Guard coach, and that is our very own Aidan here.
Hello.
So Vanguard Tactics are the team that Aidan and I play for. Will, come and play for them. We're going to keep this up forever. They have a great channel. They've hit something like, I think they're just on the verge of 83,000, if not more than 83,000 subs. Just got a new studio under construction. They've got an academy you can join if you want to learn the real fundamental basics of the game, which is, as we all know, it's kind of how you win this game. They have master classes on the different factions. They have multiple free streams a week where you can see the guys play, and it's very much all about sportsmanship and being a great opponent. So go and check out Vanguard Tactics. There is a link in the description where if you do take up any of their products or services, there's a bit kickback to the channel utilizing our link, and that goes towards helping us. But Will, big question for you.
Go on.
If I wanted to, mix up my army now, and I wanted to, I don't know, get some Nurgle Demons on the go, or wanted to get some Chaos Knights on the go, or to bring in as allies into my Death Guard army, where can I get them?
Well, there you go. Well, we do have an affiliate link with Element Games, which should be in the video description. And like I say, it's like a lot of other channels have them too. It just means you click on the link, it takes you to the website, like any other, like you go in there normally. You buy what you want, and we get a little kickback for the channel. Doesn't cost you any extra money. Just means that we're sort of kept in models, and helps keep us sort of doing this kind of content and stuff. But
because you never know, a new Death Guard model might come out at some point.
That's it, yeah. And also, potentially a Codex. So if you're going to get the Codex, make sure you buy it through our affiliate link. We need to just, we want to see how many codexes above that affiliate we'll be tracking you.
If you
we don't have to get any tracking info, of course.
And last but not least, because our other place is still having a Christmas break at the moment, if you are in dire need of any new spicy roly boys, as we like to call them, also known as dice, you can check out our affiliate link for Baron of Dice below. And you get is it? I can't remember if that's a discount or if that's an affiliate link.
It's not a discount. It's but it's it gives us a bit of kickback to the channel, so that will support us. By the way, have you seen that over 200 people have now voted in the poll?
I can't see the poll. I've closed it and I have no idea where it's gone. I'm assuming
I
you're
don't even know what
painting
the
it
point
live.
is.
Oh, if you can't see it, in that case, I'm going to say 85% of people said I shouldn't do it live.
Oh, Nat's got it open.
You
That's-
shouldn't do it like
Yeah, no, that is an 85% of people. Yes, Dave should paint live. That's it.
In that case, I will.
I'll paint something weird. We'll do it together. We'll have a paint stream.
Oh,
Great.
I'm more than happy to embarrass
Oh,
myself.
look
But
at you
I know
guys.
we can do it then. Yeah,
we can do that. That'd be
Yeah,
lovely.
we'll do a hangout, and I'll show the travesty that is the plague surgeon becoming even more of a travesty as we go.
It'll be a
That'll
lovely. It'll be a little date. We'll have.
Yeah, it'll be a thing, mate.
And then at 10,000 subscribers, you're joining me when I have to forcibly be
Oh yeah,
fed
100%.
cheese by
I'm
Natalie.
sending you a cheese board when.
Oh, thank you.
To be
I
fair,
can't
Abe,
wait.
you could just eat some fake cheese. Just get some.
No, because I'm going to send him. I'm going
No.
to send him it in a box with like a signed seal on it, so we will know. But it will be nice cheese, I promise.
Nat's on vomit bucket duty at that point because I will vomit.
Just some cathedral. Just get on the cathedral city. God, I couldn't.
Mate, I won't get to Confusion. I will die at Baby Bell.
Oh yeah, baby bell's gross.
No, it's going to be a big spoon and just some laughing cow. And that's like
Just laughing cow. Whoa.
Right, well, talking of laughing cows, there is one more plug we've got to do because obviously Dave normally reps them, but if you go to an event and you want to look snazzy and cool, we also have some Death Guard branded clothing items. Linked. Is the store link in the videos, guys? Or
There should be. It's not in the description. It's just like you should just see it somewhere on the screen. Cause it's linked to our product page. But yeah, DRP merch, I believe it is called.
DRPstore.com. I've just put it in the chat.
Okay.
And the other thing we will do is we'll actually put we'll make sure kind of also for going forward we'll remember to put actual products linked in the below the video as well because it creates a little shelf and then that's an easy way for people to just click through.
Oh, that's very nice. But for now, everybody, I think that's all we've got time for. So I'm going to leave you all with some more tunes
Nice.
while Dave and Will get themselves off for the night. But so yeah, stay positive. Don't get down too much about this number. I know 35% looks scary,
it's all
but it's only the start of things. And again, Gito has been pretty good on balancing this point. If it does stay this way, you're looking at tops for a couple of months, and then we'll get.
The song that Aiden's gonna put us out to is "Things Can Only Get Better."
Allegedly.
Maybe in a year's time when the Codex comes out.
The Codex came out and it was actually worse, and things got worse.
God, don't reminisce it because some codexes do come out the dog shit. There hasn't been one like that for a while. Please, don't even let them. Don't even.
We'll be fine. Don't worry. We'll be fine.
Gentlemen, lovely to see you as always.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
worries. So
right.
take care, everyone.
There
We'll
you
see
go,
you all
there you
soon.
go.
Stay right on you lot.
Go sip out some nurgles.
Bye guys, look after yourselves.
That looks very wrong, Will. See you later, guys.
See you later on, guys.
So broken hive, corpses twitch and come alive. This crimson plague, it feeds on fear as the bodies drop and it draws us near. Our skin is crawling, something's inside. Internal organs liquefied. Death God's gift, a twisted fate. No escape for me, yeah, it's too late. No goal comes except your fate. It won't stop. The hive's infected, it's too late. Watch it all decay, falling to your knees. The hive will consume when it's sick disease. Our souls corrupted, can't run, can't fight. The walking pox now takes its bites. The walking pox now takes its bites. Run the rod, run the rod. Walking pox now takes its bites. Lungs are burning, pox fills the air. You scream for help, but no one cares. Bones are breaking, bodies swift. The Death Guard's gift, death's toxic kiss. Pale-eyed stare with a hollow glare. They're gone but shambling, lost somewhere. This hive is his, disease and bloom. No light survives in this darkened tomb. Then no comes except your fate. It won't stop. The hive's infected, it's too late. Watch it all decay, falling to your knees. The hive will consume when it's sick disease. Our souls corrupted, can't run, can't fight. The walking pox now takes its bites. The walking pox now takes its bites. You'll feel it settle deep inside. There's no cure, nowhere to hide. You breathe me in, you can't escape. I am the plague, I I am your fate. What can you feel it in your bones? This is where it now goes home. No mercy here, you're out of time. Your final breath is at last mine. Watch it all decay, falling to your knees. The hive was consumed by the sick disease. I'm so corrupted, can't run, can't fight. The walking box now takes its bite. The walking box now takes its bite. Watch it all decay, falling to your knees. The hive was consumed by the sick disease. I'm so corrupted, can't run, can't fight. The walking box now takes its bite. The walking box now takes its bite. Through the skies we come to claim our prize. A world infected before your eyes. We are the rod, we are the end. The death god's mercy is death again. Watch it all decay, falling to your knees. The hive was consumed by the sick disease. Our souls corrupted, can't run, can't fight. The walking box now takes its bite. The walking box now takes its bite.
In the shadow of decay I rise, typhus the herald beneath poison skies. With nobles rot I lay rust to waste. The reaper's scythe, no life can escape. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death god where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In Noble's name I spread death with ease. Pestilence water me hand in hand. Rivers of filth drown the land. I am typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. The Imperium's light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, rot consumes the just. Space hopes reek of a foul rebirth. Carriers of plague across the cursed earth. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death god where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In Noble's name I spread death with ease. Pestilence water me hand in hand. Rivers of filth drown the land. I am typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. The Imperium's light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, rot consumes the just. Space hulks reek of a foul rebirth. Carriers of plague across the cursed earth. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death god where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In Noble's name I spread death with ease. Pestilence water me hand in hand. Rivers of filth drown the land. I am typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. Feel the plague fleet, fear the end. No salvation, nowhere to defend. I am Typhus, reaper of dread. Bow to Nurgle, embrace the dead.
The blackened sky we rise, wings of death, clouds of flies. The crag will burn, the pure will fall. Mortarian's wrath will consume them all. Ultimately pride crumbled in the dust. Your emperor's light can't stop the rust. Disease and rot by your final breath. Now kneel before the reaper's death. I am the plague, I am the rot. The end of all that you forgot. You fought for hope, you fought for lies. Now your shining world slowly dies. From the skies I bring despair. Your warrior choke on poisoned air. My cracking flames, hear the cries. Mortarian's blade, watch his glory dies. The reaper falls to a runner's sword. In death your soldiers are reborn. There's no salvation, no last stand. My crown is buried by my hand. Blue and gold, once proud, once bright, now swallowed whole by endless night. I am decay, and I will feast. Your chapter falls beneath my feet. Gleaming suns will face my wrath. In every breath, your lungs turn black. Your noble heart, I turn to ash in my shadow. Your hopes will crack. I am the plague, I am the rot. The end of all that you forgot. You fought for hope, you fought for lies. Now your shining world slowly dies. From the skies I bring despair. Your warrior choke on poisoned air. The cracking flames, hear the cries. Mortarian's blade, watch his glory dies. The angel falls, your runner's sword. In death your soldiers are reborn. There's no salvation, no last stand. My crown is buried by my hand. My crown was the jewel of the stars. Now lies broken, tainted with my scars. I am your doom, your final breath. Mortarian comes, delivering death. From the skies I bring despair. Your warrior choke on poisoned air. My cracking flames, hear the cries. Mortarian's blade, watch his glory dies. The angel falls, your runner's sword. In death your soldiers are reborn. There's no salvation, no last stand. My crown is buried by my hand. Buried by my hand. You fall, you fall. My crown is buried by my hand. Clothed in silence, grim and pale. Shrouded forms behind rusted veils. Wielders of scythes, reapers of life. Bound to Mortarian, blessed by strife. No words are spoken, yet dread pervades. Eternal watchers, unbroken blades. Astride the tides of filth they tread. The death's from march where life has fled. Ill indicate a father's will. Unyielding, relentless, they kill. Echoes of death in every stride. Plague-born rage, shadows by his side. Shadows of rot, the sights of despair. Life withers and dust beneath their glare. Guardians of plague, champions of blight. Extensions of the pale they kill. Echoes of death in every stride. Plague-born wraith, shadows by his side. Shadows of rot, the sights of despair. Life withers and dies beneath their glare. Guardians of plague, champions of blight, extensions of the Pale King's might. Sacrifice of noble hands, carving through across the land. Variant shadow, eternal and true, the death shroud march to bury you. Shadows of rot, heralds of dread, they march where the living fear to tread. No mercy, no escape, no salvation lies.